When it comes to the most anyone has ever lifted, the ink in the history books is barely dry, as two titans of the strongman world have created a legacy and bitter rivalry that all stemmed from the biggest stage in 2017. To give some context, by this point, Hall and Hafþór Björnsson had already become household names in their respective countries and around the world for their careers in strongman, which was aided by Thor's iconic display as the Mountain in Game of Thrones and Eddie's vast appearances in the media. However, for both these strongmen, 2017 was arguably the most defining year of their lives. On the 1st of April, Europe's Strongest Man took place in Leeds, England, with the final being arguably one of the toughest and finest displays of strongman of all time. Out of the 4 events, both Eddie and Thor won 2 apiece: the truck pull and medley race for Thor, and the axle press and deadlift for Hall, which meant it all came down to the Atlas stones to decide the title of Europe's Strongest Man.
And it's neck and neck on the first, the Mountain. One motions the second, but the Beast does 2 and the third. It's so tight. The Mountain's quicker on the 4th. Hall tries to throw it, and Björnsson does it. 5 stones in 17.5 seconds. That is extraordinary.
After Thor's win, the two showed great sportsmanship, with Eddie congratulating him despite having to hide his disappointment of wanting this title more than anything in the world.
And I would also like to congratulate all the competitors. Big hand for Eddie Hall for being a beast and pushing me through the limits. He is fantastic.
Eddie Hall, that's right.
Although showing great sportsmanship at Europe's Strongest Man, just a few months later at the World's Strongest Man in Botswana, that was all about to change when Thor lost. During the 3rd event of the final, Thor achieved an impressive 15 reps on the Viking press, but was given a warning multiple times by the head referee to hold the weight at the top of the rep.
Colin Grice giving some instruction there about telling Hafþór to wait at the top.
Received a warning there, but he's been given credit for 13 reps.
Nick Best doing his best, full of heart, but not enough pressing power as Hafþór goes for his 14th and looks like he gets it.
Now for 15. Wait, so he's not going to get that one.
Because Thor double-dipped his knees on the final rep, he was deducted a rep, leaving him with 14. The call by the British referee was subjective and considered by some a bit of a grey area. This left Eddie to clean up the event with 15 reps, with obviously more in the tank. With Eddie winning the event, Thor began complaining to the head referee, Colin Bryce, about the decision.
And this was the discussion.
Got taken away. 100%, man.
Colin Bryce is explaining
That's
here
too much.
that he had given him repeated warnings. 4 times he had mentioned, and he ended up only taking 1 rep off.
In the next event, Thor and Eddie trailed behind in the plane pull. However, Eddie then won the max deadlift event, managing to lift 472.5 kg, 12.5 kg more than second place Thor. In the final event, Thor then got his revenge winning the Atlas stones. However, it wasn't enough to secure an overall win in the final standings, finishing just 1 point behind Eddie. Not only had Eddie just won his first World's Strongest Man, he also became the first British person to win the title since Gary Taylor in 1993. After the event, Thor then posted to Instagram with the caption, "This weekend I was robbed. The integrity of my beloved sport is in question." This post was later deleted. However, a subsequent post would read, "I completed 15 reps, but the referee took the last rep away from me. They say I double dipped. This would have been equal first place with Eddie Hall, which would have scored me 1 point higher. I know it's only 1 point, but sometimes 1 point can change the game completely." In an interview after these comments were made public, Eddie responded stating, "The one person I am disappointed in is Thor. He claimed some disallowed reps, some bad reffing, whatever. He claimed he would have won World's Strongest Man had it not been for that. The guy's deluded. The thing that hurt me the most is Brian shook my hand. Every athlete shook my hand and said well done, and every member of staff. I actually went to shake Thor's hand to say, sorry you didn't win it Thor, but well done. And he just point blanked me, shook my hand but didn't say well done, and that hurt." After winning this incredible title, Eddie announced his retirement from the competition, citing a number of reasons.
The main reason I retired was my family, number 1, and then second, my health. You know, I was definitely pushing the boundaries of what the human body was capable of, especially for my size. You know, I'm just over 6'2", and I feel like being 433 pounds or just shy of 200 kilo was a massive, massive strain on my body, and that I had to be that weight at that time in that era of strongman to compete against the other 440 pound strongmen, i.e. Thor and and Brian.
The following year in 2018, Thor finally won his World's Strongest Man title. Before that, he had placed in the top 3 World's Strongest Man for 6 consecutive years. On the 17th of May 2020, 3 years after the controversy, the official Strongman YouTube channel uploaded a video titled "Exposed Thor Björnsson and Referee Cheating Scandal at the World's Strongest Man." The same day as the documentary going live, Eddie released his own documentary on his YouTube channel titled "Exposed: Cheating Scandal at World's Strongest Man," which now has over 10 million views. The video details Eddie explaining how his win had been smeared by Thor and how it's time for his perspective.
For the last 3 years, instead of answering questions about how I defeated some of the greatest strongmen that have ever lived, Hafþór Björnsson included in that list, instead I had people questioning whether I'd really won it or not. Hafþór Björnsson and his entourage have been smearing my title and the referee Colin Bryce's reputation for the last 3 years. Because he was the Mountain from Game of Thrones and he was a huge TV star, people listened and people believed him. Now, I've had enough of the doubters saying Hafþór Björnsson was robbed, saying he was robbed by the referees and how hard done by he was. So today, I came across a video that ends all the smack talk and silences those doubters. And I have to say, this video stopped me in my tracks with how desperate a man can be when things don't go his way. It's time for the truth to be told. It's time to let the pictures do the talking.
The video also showed previously unseen footage from the day before the show, where head referee Colin Bryce goes over the rules with all of the competitors.
When it comes to rep events, I always kind of err on the side of the athlete with a warning. So just to kind of give you a chance if you lose your mind in the heat of the battle.
On that note with the Viking press,
I always err on the side of caution. And you know us, we always communicate very much.
but since you can put it down, right? Don't all of us know? We're all the best right here, and you know if you double dip, you know it, right? So if you're getting to the point you're going to double dip, you could always put it down and rest. So no double dip.
It's no double dip. So this is where I hate to use Thor as an example, but Thor often finishes some reps with his knees a little bit bent. It's just his body position. So we'll just communicate with him. We won't give him a down signal. You know what I mean?
You came out in position like this.
But do you know what I mean? For example, but I'll be communicating with Hafþór, so he knows it. The person that may I say the person.
Heels leave the floors. You've got to get them back down.
Of course, they do. And that's our call. It's as simple as that. This is not a perfect science.
That's what you just said. Just be honest. That's why I'm saying it. You can't allow it.
Can I, after this year, can me and you go and can I show you my technique so we're
100%.
This footage was then accompanied by unseen footage of Thor after the Viking press, and him, well, not taking the decision too well.
What's the reason why you took 15 minutes from me? Then we chose you.
He shouts at you the worst offense. He double dipped earlier. But his worst offense was he kept putting it down before I said down. But I gave it to him because I knew there was some confusion with that.
I got you.
Let's have.
That's all right.
I'll promise you my life. I'll go home if this is the case. You can. Let's have 3 other referees look at it, and they all say this is double dip. That's fine.
Dude, I had 3 referees. I had myself, him, and Darren, all refereeing.
You're the guy who's making the decision.
I'm the guy who makes the decisions, and therefore I gave you 3 reps that were bad because I warned you, and I gave you 1 off. I'm sorry.
This hurts too much.
I know it hurts, Hafþór.
I promise my daughter.
Hafþór, I saw your head on, brother.
It's not. I promise my daughter. It's not double dip. I'll say it. It's not.
I'm afraid you didn't do that, Hafþór. I saw that.
However, after Eddie released this video, the documentary on the Strongman channel was quickly deleted. 3 days later, YouTuber Nick Strength and Power uploaded a video detailing what had happened and speculated that it was because they edited the documentary to make it look like Thor didn't shake Eddie's hand, when in reality he did.
Now I find that to be interesting because that video had received well over 1 million views in about 24 hours, and the video was in the process of going viral. Everybody was talking about it. Now, for whatever reason, that video has now been removed from that Strongman YouTube channel, and nobody's entirely positive why, but I wanted to show you guys this because this is my speculation on the situation. So there was this clip. This clip was in that original video, and in this clip, it's edited to make Hafþór look like when Eddie wins the 2017 World's Strongest Man, they edited this clip to make it look like Hafþór won't shake Eddie's hand. So in the full clip of this video, Hafþór does shake Eddie's hand. But what they did was they slowed down this video clip and cut it off at the very end.
5 days after this video, Eddie then uploaded a Q&A video in which he answered questions asking whether if Thor did actually shake his hand on the podium.
You know what? I've spoken to a number of people regarding that handshake, and each and every one of them I asked, do you think it's a good representation of what happened in that video now that you've seen the whole entirety of the video, the whole video? And the answer was yes. Do I think it's representative of what happened in the video? Yes, I do. I do, because it's symbolic of the whole message of the video, and that message is that Thor is a bad sportsman. So how about we flip this on its head? Should I have had to put my hand out in front of him in the podium to offer a well done to him? Now, we stood next to each other for maybe 10-15 minutes before that, and I was waiting for him to congratulate me, as I have always done when he had beaten me. Now, if I remember rightly, I'm going to say about 4 weeks before World's Strongest Man, we competed at Europe's Strongest Man. And the last event was the Atlas Stones, and he won. And I don't think I went off in a huff. In fact, I remember chasing after him whilst he celebrated his victory to shake his hand. And I said what an amazing athlete he was in my speech to the cameras. I said how, what an amazing battle. I gave it everything I got. And I don't remember being anything but as humble as I should have been in defeat. The man beat me. There's no excuses. I took it. And believe me, it hurt. Now, I must say here and now, in 2017, we stood by the tent cleaning ourselves from the tacky event for a good, say, 15 minutes before we even went to wait on the podium. And out of everyone, I have to thank Hafþór's dad, because above anyone, he was the only one from the Icelandic team to come and say well done. He was the only one to come and offer his congratulations. And that was very sporting of him. I know Thor's dad had to convince Thor to come out of the tent to accept his trophy. I know this because Brian Shaw, I've been on the road with Brian Shaw a lot, and Brian Shaw mentioned to me that Thor had asked him to walk away before the presentation, to show me up, to leave me on the podium alone because of his cheating allegation.
Thor wins, Eddie Hall tells him what a great job. Eddie wins, Thor calls him a cheater, class act versus classless act. You see, at the 2016 Europe's Strongest Man, neither Eddie or Thor won the competition. However, Eddie pulled off one of the single greatest achievements in weightlifting, becoming the first person to ever deadlift 500 kg, all while doing it in front of 10,000 people. A feat which almost killed him.
And I want you to look at my eyes as I'm pulling that deadlift. My eyes open, and not intentionally, and they open, and my eyes change colour. They actually change colour. They went the brightest, most turquoisey blue I've ever seen a man's eyes go. I finished off, I locked the lift out, and that's when I woke up, and I was just sort of like at the top of the lift looking around like, have I done it? Jesus Christ. Hit the deck. Massive puddle of blood on the floor. Everyone runs over, they're wiping the blood away. I don't know how much blood came out my face. And they take my shirt off, take my suit off, and then the blood pressure must have changed up or whatever. I went unconscious, and I've watched the footage back, and I'm sort of in people's arms, and I'm in and out of consciousness. I'm sort of convulsing, just sort of like, not quite sure where I am. And, there people keep wiping blood away, it keeps coming out my nose. And then someone just whispers in my ear like, Ed, get up, man. Get up, make it look easy. So, get the fuck off me. Everyone backs away, stand up, did my little speech to the crowd, thank the wife, and then backstage, boom.
Since Eddie's 500 kg lift in 2016, many people had spoken about trying to replicate or beat his record by 1 kg, most notably Thor.
There's been a lot of talk since I pulled the 500 kilo of people wanting to pull 500 kilo, people saying they're going to pull 500 kilo, people creating different bars to make it easier to pull 500 kilo on. You know what? If you can talk the talk, walk the walk, come and lift 500 kilo on a calibrated bar, calibrated plates in front of a World's Strongest Man referee, nowhere to hide, 10,000 strong crowd, and pull over 500 kilo. Come and prove it. Back up your bullshit.
The intention of lifting 500 kg was to break the limits of human beings. The intention of lifting 501 kg to break the limits set by another human being. That's the difference. On the 2nd of May 2020, in his own gym in Iceland, as part of the World's Ultimate Strongman series, Thor beat Eddie's 4-year-old record by 1 kg, creating a new Guinness World Record of 501 kg. Underneath this video, someone commented, "As much as I love Eddie, when he lifted 500 kg, he was seriously close to death afterwards. Thor looked like he could do another rep." But some people in the strongman community, including Eddie, have debated the legitimacy of Thor's record, since it was performed outside of a traditional competition setting. This achievement reignited tensions with Eddie, with it resulting in an announcement of a boxing match between the two strongmen, dubbed the heaviest boxing match in history. Scheduled for the 19th of March 2022 in Dubai, both athletes underwent significant training and weight loss to prepare for the fight, with Eddie dropping from 163 kg to 142 kg, and Thor dropping from 208 kg to 144 kg. During the face-off before the fight, Eddie confronted Thor on his 501 kg lift, and that he had only won the world's strongest man title because he retired. Also, I will point out, the middleman for this face-off is arguably the bravest man in existence.
If I pulled 501 kilo in my home gym, would you accept it? Thor? I'm asking you, would you accept it?
If it was under the right circumstances, with the right referees, with the right promotion, and everything done correctly, the weights actually being weighed, not like yours. Yours were not being weighed. Then 100%. Yeah. 100%.
So what makes that?
You did your fucking record.
God.
You did your record.
Calm down.
With your best mates, Colin Bryce, with your business partners.
But there was other competitors there to verify it. There was other lifters
and you
to
had
lift
everything
it.
with you.
Benny Magnuson was
you
there.
had your own bar, your own platform, everything.
Oh God, get this guy a dummy. Who sanctioned the 501 deadlift? Who sanctioned it?
It's in the world.
Who sanctioned it?
WUS.
WUS. Yeah. Who from WUS was there?
Eddie.
Who from WUS was there?
I'm not answering you.
Because no one was there. Who refereed it?
Your best friend, Magnus Magnuson.
Yeah, my best friend. Did you know Magnus Magnuson was bullied into refereeing that? Bullied? He was bullied. He was told.
He's a grown-ass man.
Calm down, let me talk.
He can do what the fuck he wants.
Calm down, let me talk.
He was bullied.
You're just going to talk over me. He was told if he didn't referee that deadlift, then a sponsor was going to pull out a World's Strongest Man. He was bullied. He told me he did not want to ref it because he thought it was bullshit. So he was bullied into refereeing that 501 kilo.
He's trying to lick your ass, that's obvious.
No, mate, he just hates you because you're a fucking crybaby, that's all.
So let me ask you.
No, let me finish asking questions, please, Cougar.
Go on, mate.
Okay. Who weighed the plates?
Who the fuck are you? I'm not answering questions.
Who weighed the plates? Your dad. World record, not allowed. That's like Usain Bolt running 100 meters in a world record and going, yeah, but my dad filmed it, my dad timed it.
You won World's Strongest Man with the help of your best friend, who literally you're in business with.
I wasn't.
Colin Bryce.
Not at the time, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Prove it.
I can actually.
Prove it.
One day I will.
Okay.
What
5 years
was I
later.
supposed to do? Throw a phone up here and say, show this, see this?
I wasn't in business with Colin until 2019.
When the fight rolled round, Thor emerged victorious by unanimous decision, with most agreeing he demonstrated superior technique and endurance. After the fight, both Thor and Eddie expressed respect for each other's efforts and said they would be willing to fight for a second time. However, Björnsson later stated that he would rather not be involved in a rematch because he felt like the line had been drawn under the feud with Eddie. Despite both being promised a 7-figure purse from the fight, both Eddie and Thor have publicly stated that they didn't receive any payment for their boxing match. It's not like the fight didn't gain significant interest either. The TV company responsible for broadcasting the fight allegedly failed to make the payment, ignoring emails and calls. Eddie has mentioned that both him and Thor took legal action, but even though the court ruled in their favour, the promoter claimed to have no money, resulting in no compensation for the fighters. It was especially bad considering the vast amounts of training and sacrifices they both undertook for the fight.
I mean, it stands for me, I believe it stands for Thor as well. We didn't get paid anything from that fight.
That's insane.
Nothing. Like, everything just fell through. That Segi TV that did the promotion for the fight, they just refused to pay.
So you guys were supposed to go do it and then get paid after.
Yeah, I'm going to say it because it's true. I think it was pussy behaviour from the promoter. It was like, we can either do pay-per-view and God knows what we'll earn, or we can get this guaranteed money. It's nowhere near as much as what you'd like, but it's guaranteed.
After his boxing match against Thor in 2022, Eddie made his MMA debut in a 2-on-1 bout against the Nafati brothers, securing a complete system shutdown on both of the helpless souls. In April 2025, Eddie then defeated 5 times world's strongest man, Mariusz Pudzianowski, in the first round in the octagon. Thor, on the other hand, has returned to his strongman roots. After a 3-year hiatus, he competed at the 2024 Arnold Strongman Classic, finishing in 4th place. He then aimed to break his own elephant bar deadlift record of 473 kilograms by attempting a 501 kg lift at the Arnold Strongman Classic this year.
Come on, Thor! Hips down! Big drive! Come on! Let's go, Hafþór!
For the record!
Come on, Thor!
Once united in a shared pursuit of greatness, they are forever etched into the strongman history as once friends and then bitter rivals. From handshake snubs and deleted documentaries to deadlift wars and punches thrown in the ring, Eddie's 500 kg deadlift changed the game in the history books forever. And while Thor may finally earned his world's strongest man title and bested Eddie in the ring, to many fans, the question of who truly has the stronger legacy remains as heavy as the weights they lifted. Thank you so much for watching this video, it really does mean a lot to me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at PhatMema, like, subscribe, and comment below what you want to see next.